Quick question, who's your favorite Disney character? Snow White? Elsa? Lightning McQueen? Well, hands down, ours is Bart Simpson. Yep, Disney now owns The Simpsons, and it never gets old declaring the yellow-skinned family as our favorite Disney characters. And while the town of Springfield may be under the Disney umbrella now, it doesn't mean things were so warm and fuzzy before. So let's hop back in time before Disney owned practically everything and Homer wasn't afraid to make a dig at the House of Mouse. There have been numerous Disney insults in the whole 30 seasons of The Simpsons, and we've got the best for you now. While we never got to see The Simpsons' first family vacation to Disney World, Marge decided to capture the moments in a photo album which she pulled out for the episode Mobile Homer. In the snapshot, we see Goofy holding back Homer as Mickey Mouse himself delivers a huge punch to the gut. Of course, you have to give it up to Bart laughing in the background. So is Mickey Mouse truly just a big bully, or did Homer do something so bad that deserved a Toontown beatdown? Our guess? Probably a little bit of both. Still, it would be epic to see a massive fight between Homer and Mickey, much like the one Homer and Peter Griffin had on the Family Guy crossover. Side note, why the heck did Marge snap a picture while her hubby was getting pummeled by Disney mascots? Who am I kidding? I would have done the same. The world of Pixar may come off as loving family films, but The Simpsons has no problem pointing out that the company will do anything they can to take out their competition. In the episode Angry Dad the Movie, Bart creates a film that goes up against Disney and Pixar's movie at an awards show, except on The Simpsons they're referred to as Mixar. Lisa's red carpet interaction with the company is anything but pleasant. We get to hear the Simpsons version of Randy Newman sing the song You've Got an Enemy as Lisa gets confronted with an angry carrot representing Mr. Potato Head, and a parody of Wall-E the Robot who pulls out a gun and points it directly at Lisa. Yikes! Don't let those colorful Hawaiian shirts fool you. Of course, the red carpet scene in Angry Dad the Movie wasn't the only big dig The Simpsons took at Disney and Pixar. During the awards ceremony, various clips were shown from the nominated short films, and one of them was the Mixar film Condiments, which is a clear parody of Toy Story. The Simpsons even went all out for this spoof, implementing real CG effects instead of their traditional animation. The whole concept pays off, with a young boy coming to the kitchen and finishing off the poor jar of peanut butter. The best part of this parody is that it came years before Sausage Party, showcasing the horrifying and hilarious circumstances of what food would go through if it was actually alive. Over the years, The Simpsons has taken many shots at the Disney theme park industry, and one of the earliest examples may come from the Season 6 episode Itchy and Scratchy Land. In the episode, The Simpsons go on a family vacation to the theme park where they experience price gouging, rip-offs, and a whole lot of creepy animatronics. There's also a funny gag where Maggie's dropped off at a daycare center, which turns out to be just one giant ball pit with other babies stuck inside. One of the funniest parts includes the themed restaurants with creative menu items.
I'll have a brain burger with extra pus, please.
This is a direct reference to Disney World's various restaurants at their park, including the Beauty and the Beast themed Be Our Guest dining location.
Oh, I see.
Disney is literally everywhere, and the giant company also has its own radio station and digital network known as Radio Disney. The station is known for releasing songs with clean lyrics and edited lines which are more appropriate for the younger listening audience. While a lot of these edits make sense, The Simpsons couldn't help but parody the idea during a car ride with Maggie and Lisa. As Radio Disney plays, the next song that comes on is an edited version of the Baha Men's Who Let the Dogs Out, except the song has been changed to Who Let the Milk Out.
Yuck! 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 Dad left the milk out!
The who was even replaced with yuck yuck yuck. The small moment literally had nothing to do with the episode, but was a nice filler joke and another way for The Simpsons to diss Disney. 20 seasons after visiting Itchy and Scratchy Land, The Simpsons went to another massive theme park, this one called Disneyland, which is just about as close as it gets to referring to the actual theme park. The episode itself, entitled The Man Who Came to Be Dinner, is not worth sitting through, but the opening segment was a great representation of everything wrong with Disney parks. The show highlights how long the process is just to get into the park. There's transportation to the park through buses and monorails, a whole separate security line, then the regular entrance line, and then lines for all the rides within the park. Once the family finally makes it in, we get to see them ride on slow-moving animatronic rides. An obvious dig at Disney classics like Pirates of the Caribbean and It's a Small World. One of Disney's most popular movies of all time is The Lion King, and you know The Simpsons had to do their own take on the hit animation and adapted Broadway show. Who better than Itchy and Scratchy to showcase a whole new version of the Circle of Life? Well, keeping in their tradition of ultra-violence, the onstage parody song is referred to as the Circle of Knife. and features stage puppets attacking each other as a song gets sung around them. Basically, even though animals won't be stabbing each other in the jungle, they definitely won't all be lining up to watch a new baby getting born, and Itchy and Scratchy nailed the whole circle of life thing on its head. All as Bart watches on in glee and loves having the blood-red streamers launched into his face.
Check it out! I'm Scratcher or something!
When Disney and Pixar released a movie about a rat who uses a human head to cook, you knew the Simpsons would find a way to make fun of it. Well, the show was able to do this twice. First, in the episode Gone Maggie Gone, Homer steps into his kitchen only to discover it has been infested by rats who decide to cook. One of the rats uses Homer's few remaining hairs to control his cooking, right up until the point where he decides to mix some rat poison into his recipe. Then there's the whole Itchy and Scratchy take on the movie, aptly titled Catatouille. Here, the cat plays the role of the chef, but Itchy isn't such a nice rodent. Not only does he chop up Scratchy and use his body parts to make a meal, but he only serves his meals to other cats in a pretty sick twist to end the gag. While many Disney movies are pretty tame or allude to violence, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a whole different story. Near the end, those dwarfs chase the evil queen up the side of a cliff, and lightning strikes the ledge she stands on, sending her on a plummet to her death. The rather grim circumstances are revisited when Lisa Simpson tells her own Snow White story in the episode 4 Great Women and a Manicure. In the story, the witch never makes it up the mountain. Instead, the helpful forest creatures decide to attack her instead, ravaging the queen in a great parody of the Disney death scene. The Simpsons once decided to take a piece of Disney's box office by releasing the Simpsons Movie back in 2007, and the animators couldn't help but take a few digs at the company. The first came pretty early in the movie when the family was on their way to Alaska.
I'm the mascot of an evil corporation.
Later on, Disney gets made fun of again, this time taking aim at the whole helpful animal thing they've used in both Snow White and Cinderella. When Marge and Homer decide to enjoy some alone time in the Alaskan cabin, a bunch of animals come to the aid, stripping off their clothes. Notably, they struggle a bit with Homer, and then a poor baby deer resembling Bambi has to witness the intimate time between the couple. Yeesh. In the Pixar movie Inside Out, we got to see in the mind of a little girl. But how would things be if we went into the mind of Homer Simpson? Well, no need to guess or wonder, because that exact thing happened in an episode where Homer was playing a poker game. Once we dove into his mind, we saw Joy was represented by Ned Flanders, Milhouse played Fear, and Groundskeeper Willie was Anger, among others. Even better than the characters were the different islands of personality in Homer's mind. There's a bowling island, a food island, and yep, another food island, one mainly focused on desserts. The parody was pretty spot on and made us wish a whole episode was dedicated to viewing the minds of all of our favorite Simpsons characters. Over the years, The Simpsons has perfected the sign gags, giving each episode layers of jokes to find within the context of the show. One quick dig at Disney was enough to not only make people laugh, but pretty much nod their heads in agreement. When the Simpsons family visits a Disney parody called the Epcot Center, we immediately recognize the familiar Epcot Center sphere from Walt Disney World. The billboard reads, "When everything else is booked," and sadly, it's pretty true. The show goes on to showcase how out-of-date the future looks at Epcot, and while the real park has a few gems, there's a long way to go before we're choosing it over the Magic Kingdom or the new Star Wars Galaxy Edge anytime soon. When Lisa tries to act cool, she must avoid the place of her true calling, the local library. When she does show up to the glass windows, we get a fun fantasy of literary characters trying to woo her into the stacks of books. One of the characters turns out to be Alice from Alice in Wonderland. And then the Mad Hatter shows up looking pretty similar to the animated Disney counterpart. Only this ends up being Mad Hatter unlike we've ever seen him before. Yes, even stranger than Johnny Depp's version. This Mad Hatter pulls out a loaded gun on Alice and holds it to her skull. There are some trippy things in Disney's classic, but The Simpsons just took it to a whole other level, and we quickly realized we could never trust the Mad Hatter again. The Disney Cars franchise has 3 feature-length movies, and The Simpsons also have a trilogy of jokes and parodies about the movies as well. The first one came when Bart, Homer, and Milhouse go to the movie theater. The marquee sign about the Cars 3 merchandise always feels true, especially when toy aisles are filled with the stuff. Then there's Milhouse's confession that the Cars movies scare him, all because vehicles have teeth, but get their food from gas. So what exactly do they need those teeth for? Then there's the time Otto was tripping on drugs and he viewed the traffic around him like a world of cars, but with vicious teeth and violent tendencies. Now there's a movie we'd love to see. Nothing is more classic in the realm of Disney and Pixar than the movie Toy Story. It changed the whole world of animation, and The Simpsons decided to do the honor by introducing a version of Buzz Lightyear to Bart Simpson. Unfortunately, Bart falls more in line with a Sid-like character rather than Andy. When Bart gets a hold of Buzz, all he wants is for the Space Ranger to come alive and attempts a little hammering to get the guy to speak. Thankfully for the toy, Bart is quickly distracted and the torture ends. Wow, we have to wonder if or how these jokes will change in the future. Will The Simpsons conform to Disney's censorship standards? Only time will tell, but Bart Simpson will likely rebel against the system anyway. What joke did you like the best? Any great ones we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Screen Rant for more great content. Thanks for watching.